it on? Okay, so the purpose of orientation is to just kind of show you guys the resources available to you on kwbresources.com, which is going to be our actual Market Center and office webpage. So this is all things KWB as opposed to Keller Williams International. So it's a little bit more specific to us, and it kind of breaks down more about this office, who's in it, what's going on, all the great things. So I like to at least take an hour to kind of show you how to navigate that, because I feel like when you first look at the website, it seems pretty simple. You know, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of content to it sometimes, but there's actually a lot of resources available to you, and I want to make sure that you guys are able to use them. So if you want, you're welcome to kind of go along on your laptop. I was going to say sometimes that helps. Sometimes, hello, how are you? But it's not always necessary. It's completely up to you. I was going to say, if you'd rather just watch, there you go. I was going to say, you don't have to. So this is going to be, like I said, kwbresources.com. And when you get to the webpage, this is going to be the home page that you're looking at. The first thing I like to do is show you guys this new agent tab right here, because that's going to be the most relevant to you immediately. Underneath the new agent tab, if you go to this left-hand side, there's a Learn More button. And it'll just pull up this little this little checklist right here that explains kind of a little bit of a breakdown of the onboarding process. And it's just going to show you what's going to be asked of you, when it's going to be asked of you, who you're going to be hearing from, just a kind of slight overview on that. Most of you guys, I think now it's both, you're pretty much all the way through onboarding. I think you're waiting for Scott Leroy to get back to you, and that should be probably before the end of the day today. So you're like right at the cusp of being done. And then at the very bottom, though, this is something that is relevant to you guys even once you're done onboarding. It's things that you can do immediately. One is browsing the website, obviously, which we're kind of doing together right now. The other is to check out the office calendar, which is probably the most used page on the web page. And that's going to be something that you guys will get really familiar with as well. And I'll show you guys that in just a little bit. The other, joining Ignite, which you guys are both in Ignite. Awesome. Joining our Facebook pages if you haven't already. I think, Tessa, you just did, right? Okay. And then James, are you already on there too? Okay, perfect. I'll just gloss over it later. The next thing is attending office meetings. This is one of them, so congratulations, you've attended one. Others being like team meetings, forum classes, things like that, just to kind of get you guys involved, get you part of KW Valentine, really mixing with other people here, but also to make sure that you guys are staying informed of forum changes and things like that, because we want to keep you guys informed and updated at all times. And then the last thing is registering your car with Warrington preferred parking. So if you guys have any intentions of being here, which hopefully yes, more than a couple times a month, we usually recommend that you do register your car with Warrington parking. Sometimes I've heard this. I do have a pass that sits in my over my windshield on the rearview mirror, but I've been told that there's only like a certain number of them. So sometimes you don't actually get a physical pass, but they'll at least know about your vehicle and know to recognize it when they see it. Whether that's true or not, I'm not entirely sure. But when you click on this link here, which is listed, perfect. It'll take you right to where you need to register. We are Torrington 2 because it will ask you what building we're in. So we're Torrington 2. All this parking out here. There are visitor spots that you're welcome to use, but again, that's really for once or twice a month. But if you plan to be here regularly, we just prefer that you register your car. I've never seen anyone towed, but I would hate for that to happen. At my word, too. So just go ahead and register. It's free to you. If they are going to send you a physical pass, it will be dropped off to the mail room here over by Sue at the front desk, which I think both of you kind of know where the mail room is. Yes. Okay. I was gonna say, because I can go into a whole conversation about the mail room as well. But we do have individual folders in there through the filing cabinet series, and they're alphabetized based off your last name. That's where you'll be able to find any of your mail that is directed to the office. That's where it'll be. So anytime you prefer to have something sent here, that's where you can find it. And Sue's happy to show you that as well. Abby, BJ, anybody can show you the mail room. And down here, still under this new agent tab, if you go to the further right-hand side here, under basic training, it will navigate you to Scott Leroy Marketing. Scott Leroy Marketing is our third-party marketing consultant. They're the ones who do your entire tech setup and your Keller Cloud information. They are phenomenal. They are very highly responsive, and we love to work with them. But their page has much more than just, setting up your tech. There's much more to Scott Leroy. They do have several different things that I like to point out. I'm just going to kind of focus in on two. The first being under agent resources. If you were to click on training, go under training calendar, you can enter our Market Center number, which is going to be 350. they have Monday through Friday, they will do different training sessions from 1 to 2 p.m. every single day, Monday through Friday. There's different opportunities for you guys to get on and learn a little bit more about tech help, just command overviews, database overviews, Facebook ads, all these great things and more. So if there's ever a time that you're available and you're interested in learning something like that, maybe we don't have something running that day, you're more than welcome to jump on Scott Leroy and catch any of those classes you would like. They are through Zoom, I will say, but they also have I don't know specifically where to show you just yet, but there is a way to access all the archived recordings as well. Under this far side here, this is the next thing I do like to show you. Under the agent store, if you were to click, it will show you all the different things that you can order through Scott Leroy, including name tags, business cards, all that great stuff. I know that one of the most common questions I get when you guys onboard is, do we provide business cards? Unfortunately, the answer is no. But if you do go through Scott Leroy's agent store, they do have pre-done templates that are KW approved. All the stuff that you need on there is on there. You just have to fill in your information, add a picture if you'd like to. So it makes it pretty simple. You can customize the finish, the corners, all that great stuff. So you can kind of make it your own, which is awesome. And they have really great price points because I've actually ordered my business cards from Scott Leroy, and I got 500 for $39. So it's not bad at all. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to close out real quick. But this is a really great stopping point if you are looking for anything like that, just to check out and see what their price points are. You are welcome to check out Vistaprint or other avenues if you're interested in doing that. It's just you may need to check on the advertising guidelines, make sure you've got everything there that you need. But a little bit further down into those Facebook pages that we've discussed, I know you guys both said that you're part of our internal Facebook page right now where we can communicate with each other as agents. You guys will be able to stay updated on things that are going on in the office, events, trainings, great stuff like that. The one thing that I will point out is there is a second Facebook page. You guys are welcome to join as well. It's not mandatory, but we do recommend checking that out at least. It is a Facebook page that all of our vendor partners are a part of. So anybody that's a part of our vendor program here will all be inside of this Facebook group as well. And they're there to kind of advertise themselves, what they do, the services that they provide. So it's an easy way for you guys to get connected with a vendor partner that's trusted and has been used here several times before. The other really great thing is that sometimes they post deals that they're running as well. So it's just something else that you can be mindful of when you're kind of at that point when you're engaging with clients and trying to get them great vendors. So, and it's as simple as just searching plumber, electrician, things like that in the upper right corner, and anybody that's on that page will be brought up right away. So it's a really easy way to get connected with several different vendors and get different quotes. Under here, I'm not necessarily going to bombard you with it. It is several pages long, but if you were to click on the colorisms, it will break down all of the language that is specific to Keller Williams. So if you've ever noticed, I'm sure you have at this point, there's some terminology here that doesn't exist anywhere else in the real world. So if that comes across and you're like, there's no way that's a real word, I'm not really sure what they mean by that. If you are too embarrassed to ask, which you don't have to be, you're more than welcome to check out the colorisms little sheet here. It breaks down everything from what our leadership roles are, because assistant MCA doesn't really translate to most people. So it can tell you what an assistant MCA does all the way to what capping is and things like that. So it'll break down quite several different terms here that are very important to you, and you'll probably get more familiar with time. But if you want to have a general overview of what you're talking about, that's definitely a good stopping point. A little bit further down here, just in reference to Command. Command is our CRM here. It is built by KW for KW. So sometimes that means it can be a little bit hanky, and we know that. So one of the biggest things is as a new agent, sometimes it can be a little bit difficult of a transition. So if there's any times that you're feeling like, okay, I have a question about this, I'm not sure who to ask. One, we do have different people here who are happy to answer those questions for you, and I'll kind of explain who you can contact about that in a little bit. But if you had a question at 3 in the morning and you're like, there's no way someone's going to get back to me in time, you're welcome to check out answers.kw.com. If you click on that, I'm not sure if it's going to make me log in, but you can select what you're looking for, and it'll give you an entire breakdown of frequently asked questions about that platform, and it'll show you the answers and responses that people have given over time. So it's just a really good stopping point if you have quick questions and you're like, there's no way I'm the only person with this question. This has to be a bigger thing. Feel free to check out that website. They also have a sister website called ideas.kw.com, which is dedicated entirely to suggestions on how to improve Command. So they do like to hear from anyone and everyone, obviously. They want to make sure that it's as user-friendly as possible. So as new agents, you guys obviously hold a lot of value in your opinions because they do want to know how easy and seamless a transition it is. They want it to be as seamless as possible. So feel free to always drop suggestions in there if you think there's a quick way that they can improve something as well. They are interested to hear for sure. I will say the next thing here, Ignite materials. If you guys have not already, I think, joined on that folder that I sent out to you guys where you can get all the participant materials, you're welcome to try and get the materials here. I think it's as simple as just logging in to KW Connect and making sure everything's there, but you're welcome to download that way, do the calendar. There's several different avenues. You can reach out to me. Doesn't matter. We'll make it work. Down here, there is a connection point to our office training calendar. One thing you will notice about this website is there's several different ways that you can navigate to the same page or same thing on our website. But this is probably kind of deep down there, so I think there's a much easier way to navigate, and I'll show you that in a second. But a little bit further down, if you guys are ever interested in booking conference rooms because you need a private moment, you want to get some things done if you don't have an office here, which I think most of your teams do, which is awesome. So if there's ever a moment that you're like, I'm meeting with a client, I'm just doing a one-on-one, I know that you guys have a MAPS coach that you meet with very frequently, and you guys actually usually use a conference room for that, which is awesome. But if you ever want one, the easiest way is you can just go ahead and book one right away. If you guys ever have any difficulty with this, just let me know. I'm an admin on that page, so I can easily add your emails and make sure that you're a trusted user and make it as user-friendly as possible for you. I won't necessarily open it up, but it does kind of break down a live Excel spreadsheet, which is awesome. It shows you all of the different conference rooms we have, the capacity they hold. It gives you the times for the day, and it shows you any times that have been blocked out for that specific room, even who's got it. So if there ever was an issue, you could always contact somebody. But it just kind of shows you a really great overview of where you can fit in and what room's going to be a good fit for you. The easiest thing, or the best thing I think about that as well, is just visualization. I always think it's better to like visualize it, but the only thing that I will say is we usually try to ask that you guys stay 3 hours or less in a conference room just to make sure they're constantly on rotation and available to other agents who may need them. But you'll notice as you go on there that some days are a lot more quiet in terms of reserved conference rooms, and some days are a little bit more busy. So feel free to use that as much as you'd like. It is an available resource to you here. The next little tab that I'm going to show you is we'll actually just go back to the home tab. So we were under that new agent tab the entire time. But if you scroll a little bit further, you'll notice that these are all the lovely ladies on leadership. Each of their roles are explained and their contact as well. Down a little bit further, we do have a can't miss video of the week. This is brought to you by Julia Designs, for these last two ladies right here. Julia Designs, both of them have a background working for Scott Leroy, actually, so they are very helpful in anything that you've got tech-wise. They both were brought up with KW technology and are very well-versed in it, so they're happy to troubleshoot for you guys anytime. But they also post this nice little video here where they show you little tips and tricks on how to navigate through command, different things that you guys can do. This one is new spring branded magazines, and they just kind of break it down. Every week they update it, which is awesome. A little bit further, this is going to be the office training calendar. Like I said, there are several ways to pull to it, but if you were to keep scrolling, it's right there for you. It does show you all the great things that we've got going on all month long. You can even navigate months ahead if you really would like. But it's as simple as just clicking on what we've got going on, choosing today, for example, orientation. There's usually a registration link right there for you, along with a description for the class. So today we've got a forms class from 1 to 3 that'll be super helpful. It's North Carolina listings. Saber will be doing it herself. There's the link and there's the passcode, so you guys could jump on as easily as you'd like. And then a little bit further, we do have some more exciting, bigger events that aren't necessarily recurring meetings that are coming up. We have a CMA class that's being taught on the 18th. If you were to click here, again, scroll, and there's going to be some registration links for you. So do feel free to check out the office training calendar. Like I said, it's probably the most frequently used thing on the website. So this is going to be your hub for anything going on in the Market Center. So please do use it to get registered for anything you'd like. You can register as far as it will let you. Just a little bit below upcoming events, it just breaks down some of those recurring classes that we have that we think are very valuable for you guys as agents. One being our ALC meeting. So within our ALC is comprised of about 13 people within our top 20%, and they've all volunteered their time to represent different committees. Hi, Teresa. I don't know if I've got anyone online. I think we're just in person today. But yeah. Anytime. And so with our ALC, like I said, top 20% is about 13 people. They've chosen to represent different committees here. And it's all about just kind of improving Valentine and making it a really great place to be. Not that it's not already, but just constant room for improvement. And they do love to hear from you guys. So they do run committee meetings once So please do check out any of those that you would like. ALC as a whole will meet on the third Tuesday of every month at 11. They get together. You're welcome to be there as well. They do have big conversations about the Market Center. We just ask that if you are not on the panel of the ALC that you just stay quiet during that time, but you are welcome to be here live and in person to hear about these conversations. We also have team meetings the second and fourth Tuesday of every month. Those are kind of like our midweek party, we like to call it. So it kind of brings some energy back. If you guys haven't done a team meeting yet, they are really fun. And it'll be like a full room. It's fun. And then for forms classes, those are strictly Zoom, I will say, with Sabre being away. So those are maybe a little bit less thrilling because you're not in the office, but they are still incredibly valuable. Our Vic goes over all of the amazing things that are going on, different changes in forms, and just kind of does a really great job of walking through what's going to be required of you and how to fill out those forms when you guys do land your first transaction. So do feel free to check out those classes as well. They are super valuable. She does North Carolina and South Carolina, both list and buy side. These are all the wonderful people on our ALC. It's just going to kind of slideshow through for you. It also tells you what committee they serve and a point of contact. So if you guys have any interest in reaching out to them, asking them any questions, or coming along to their meetings, you're welcome to give them a quick email and just let them know. But here's everybody. All righty, a little bit further, we have our productivity coaches. If I don't know that either of you are actually in our coaching program officially, and that's okay because a lot of times when you guys are on teams, you guys have your own kind of internal coaching, which is perfectly fine. Should you guys ever choose to try and investigate coaching, feel free. These are amazing people that are here to help hold you guys accountable and really give you that push when you are first starting out. Down here, we have our T group partners. These are people who, this is a program built up by Sabra herself, and Sabra decided that, she gets a lot of questions, and sometimes it would be easier if you had a personal contact that you could reach out to right away with transaction questions. So these are all some veteran agents here who have been in the industry long enough, and they know plenty of information that's super helpful to you. So anytime that you guys have any questions, you're welcome to reach out to any of these lovely people, especially if Sabra's unavailable. They're happy to help field some questions for you. And Betsy, I'm actually going to be giving you one hopefully soon. I'm waiting to hear back from somebody about something, and then I will be giving you yours. But these are all wonderful people. They do meet once a week, and when they do meet, their once-a-week meetings are dedicated to, again, kind of explaining forms, giving you a rundown, answering any questions you guys might have, and, again, helping walk you through specific transactions as well. So these are just great people to get to know. They're super friendly, and they do want to help you as much as they can. But here's everybody a little bit further. We also have our first step partners. Our first step partners are here to help kind of as you're transitioning as a new agent entering this new career. They're wonderful people. They're actually going to send you what's called a 30, 60, 90, and that's just kind of an overview checklist that breaks down things that you can be working on in your first 3 months here, just because sometimes it can be a little daunting. There is no hand, like you kind of walk into this and there's nothing. And you're kind of like, what do I do? These are some great things that they're going to send that out to you, and it's just going to kind of give you an idea of things you can be doing just to better yourself and hopefully get things running right away. And they'll reach out to you a couple times just to check in, see how you're doing. You're welcome to reach back out to them and see how things are going, ask them some questions, but they're here to help you guys with that initial transition as a new agent. A little bit further, these are just different ways that you can connect to some of these other resources. But again, kind of like far down on here, so I would recommend doing a different method, which I'll show you in just a second. I'm going to show you under this FAQ tab real quick. If you guys have any questions and you're not sure who to reach out to, these are just some baseline questions to give you like a realm of concept of who you can talk to about certain things. If you had a question about a contract, you can reach out to Sabra. If you have a question about coaching, you can reach out to a productivity coach or Brandy Williams. And if you just hover right over, it'll tell you who you can talk to. Obviously, if you guys have no idea and that question's not listed, you are welcome to reach out to me, and I'm happy to either get the answer for you or get you connected with you guys. A little bit over here, I'm going to just go right ahead to the next tab. Under on-demand training, it will ask you for a password. Our password is here. It's the same as the Wi-Fi password minus the exclamation point. So it's a capital B, lowercase a, M, C, and the number 350. Once you are in that training tab, on the left-hand side here, if you click on demand, it'll navigate you to our Market Center YouTube channel, and that's going to show you all the recordings of our recurring meetings, like team meeting, forums classes, orientation, compliance orientation, anything that you guys have missed, or maybe you had a client that was in town, you could not be there for the class and you wanted to. This is where the recordings will be posted, so that anytime that you've missed something and you're looking to hopefully catch that you are welcome to check out this YouTube channel because usually within the same day, maybe the next day, things are uploaded and constantly updated for you. I'm just going to close out of here, but like the last one class was South Carolina buyers, because if you have not heard, South Carolina forms are going to be going through some serious changes. So Saber actually did that one herself for the first time in a couple months, and she was able to share all that information with everybody. On the right-hand side here, under Command on Demand, that will actually navigate you. It's probably going to do it again. That'll navigate you to Scott Leroy Marketing's YouTube channel. So again, they just show you different tutorials. If your learning style is compatible with tutorials, I would definitely recommend checking this out. They do a lot of different classes and things like that. It just kind of break down, again, Scott Leroy Marketing tech tips, how to get through Command, how to do digital marketing, things like that. There are videos that range from 5 minutes to like 45 minutes. So lots of various content on there that's all super helpful, but a really good stopping point for you guys, again, if you're looking for that tech assistance or opportunity to learn a little bit more about it. I'm going to close out real quick. And then just a little blurb about Ignite there, which you guys are both a part of, so I don't really need to touch base on that, which is great. This next side over here, Office Resources, I will say, as I'm kind of doing it right now, if you hover over it, you can click on the advertising guidelines here. That's going to show you guys anything that you need to make sure is actually present on your flyers and things like that. Obviously, both of you guys are on Teams, which is great because your marketing material will have a second set of eyes right away. So that's super helpful. But if you guys should ever need it, though, that is something that you guys can always reference. For whatever reason, and the reason I am stopping to say this is because if I click on Office Resources, you can't really access the advertising guidelines under that tab. It's only when you cover it. So if you guys do need it, that was an important little side note. But under the Office Resources, again, it'll be that same password that we just discussed. Under Office Resources, this is where you guys can find a lot of different forms. So Saber realized that there were several forms that were obviously asked for far more frequently than others. So she decided to go ahead and put together a Google Drive just to make it that much easier for you guys. And they're all sitting right there. If there's ever any forms that are not present there, there are several other ways that you guys can get them. Obviously, again, being on Teams is super helpful because you'll have somebody who can kind of show you some guidance on that. But if you click on that left-hand button here, Get Forms, it will open up to this Google Drive. I think both of you are North Carolina licensed, so this is perfectly relevant. These are all our North Carolina forms here that we do have accessible through this Google Drive, ranging from addendums, septic and sewer, co-marketing agreements, all those amazing things and more. So feel free to kind of check this out. This can be like your first stopping point. But we'll go ahead and just close out for a second. If you guys ever do become South Carolina licensed, then this on the right-hand side here will be where you find South Carolina forms. In the middle, under Get Checklist, this is, again, another Google Drive that Saber put together of checklists that she built up herself that do walk you through the individual transactions. So there's a North Carolina listing checklist. There's a South Carolina buyer checklist. If you were to click on it, and we'll do the North Carolina one, it does kind of, again, walk you through what's going to be expected of you, when it's going to need done by, who you're going to be sending things to, all that great stuff, just to make it a little bit easier for you guys, especially when you're doing those first couple transactions, because they can be really daunting. There's a lot you guys have to know, and we understand that, and we want you to go in as comfortable and confident as possible. So feel free to use these checklists at any time. I've had several agents who've even printed them off here before and taken them with them. I usually recommend that you don't let your clients see them, but obviously it's nice to have them just as a fallback. So I will say that this is a super commonly used page as well. So please feel free to pull those checklists down anytime you need them, or at least reference them if you're having any questions right away. Under here, CE Shop, if you click on the Find Classes button, it's just going to take you to our co-branded website with the CE Shop, because we do partner very closely with them. And it just kind of walks you through, again, all the great things that they offer. They do exam prep, they do pre-licensing and post-licensing. So if you guys do find yourselves in need of any post-licensing stuff, feel free to check them out. They do run great deals. If you actually scroll down a little bit, they are always running some kind of deal, and they will break down the original price compared to the savings. I know they've got a 35% off deal coming up on May 11th, and I do receive emails about those updates, so I post those as well to Facebook. So anytime there is a deal running, I will post that for you guys so that you can use it right away, and hopefully take advantage of the best deal possible. I think the highest I've ever seen is 40% off, which is still really great. Under here, and they do really great things. If you guys are curious at all about getting your South Carolina license, they do offer free trials. This happens to be North Carolina, but you can kind of navigate over to South Carolina. But it gives you a free trial, so you can see what self-paced would be like for South Carolina for a week before you even pay for it. You can kind of get a feel for that, see if it's something that you feel comfortable with. out because they share blogs, ebooks, podcasts, and videos, all pertaining to the real estate market. So some of them are more informative, some of them are more fun. There's a couple of hilarious ones. One was around Halloween. They did how to sell a haunted house. They do like fun, different things, interior design, staging help. So just different content that not only you can learn from, but you guys can also share that on your pages as well, because sometimes that diversifying your feed is all you need to gain more traffic. So feel free to use any of these. You're welcome to download them and post them, or just share the link to your Facebook. That's why they're here, not only for you to learn from, but for other people to learn from as well, and hopefully get you guys involved in different conversations around it. So feel free to check this out at any time. They're constantly updating it, and there's a lot of fun content on here. I'm going to close out real quick. The next thing, Valentine's floor plan, I will tell you right now, I've never once needed that, and I work here. But if you ever feel like you need it for some reason, this is where you can find it. Down here, again, a really good stopping point, numbers to know. There's our firm license information, our MLS Canopy ID, the participant information. So if you guys are ever filling out forms to get a South Carolina license and things like that, these are going to be those numbers that they're probably asking you for on those forms. It also references on this left-hand side that our market center number is 350. You'll probably notice that number's come up a couple times here, and you'll see it again cyclically, just because it's really easy way to reiterate that our number is 350, because there will be times that you're asked for that when you're trying to register for regional training, things like that, where you're trying to go into Scott Leroy, 350. But we also have our Wi-Fi password listed here, so just little helpful passwords, numbers, things like that at this bottom section of the office resources. If you guys ever need it, that's where you can find it. But again, I'm only an email away, so feel free to ask me if you can't find them. The easiest way to pull the office training calendar, as I mentioned before, is just click on the office training calendar tab, and it'll guide you right to the bottom, save you a little bit of time in scrolling. But again, just kind of reiterating, please do check out the calendar. This is the easiest way to get involved and check out all the great things that we have. So if you guys are ever unable to make it to Ignite in person, I know you both have been really good about coming in person. If there's ever a time you can't make it, you can click on Ignite, and there's the link right there to join. So it's as easy as that. You can jump on that morning. Under this Tech Resources tab, we do have scheduling tech appointments, which is as simple as clicking the I Need Tech Help button. It will actually, and I'll show you, it'll take you straight to Julia Design's calendar, so you can immediately schedule 30 minutes of time to sit down with them, either through Zoom or in person, and it'll show you all the time that they have available. So today they've got a 1 o'clock available, but they've got several time slots available throughout the week. So feel free to check those out at any time, schedule some time with them. They do offer not only tech assistance and troubleshooting, but they do offer concierge services as well. I know that I think Kennedy Homes actually partners very closely with them. So they are also willing to create customized marketing plans for you guys. So that's something to consider as well. I think Abby's talked with them as well. I'm not sure what they worked out, but I'm pretty sure Abby's been in conversation with them too, which is awesome. But under Tech Resources, like I said, even if you're not going to use the concierge services they offer, they are so happy to help you guys with any tech help that you need. And their background in Scott Leroy and Command and KW is super helpful. Half the time that I would normally tell an agent to reach out to Scott Leroy, now that they're here, I can just say, go to Jules and Leah, and they can solve it right there. So very helpful. We also do have, again, a quick way to pull to the can't miss video. We have Command, Marty Miller for Teams, something that Abby actually swears by. If you click on Marty Miller for Teams, it is I'm going to pause before it screams at us. If you go to Marty Miller for Teams, it's a 66-day challenge that just, again, shows you slowly how to begin as a new agent. Day one, you're doing, Day one, you're completing your marketing profile. Day two, you're connecting your applications. So it's just piece by piece showing you how to connect some dots and get started. But obviously, if you notice that they're very short videos, so it won't take much time, and it's a really great way to kind of chunk it and make it easier, but you'll be all set by the time that you're done. So Abby loves Marty Miller for Teams. So close out of that. But under here, like I said, that's Marty Miller for Teams. There's another way to access answers.kw. And we've got a couple other really great connection points here as well. And then under under helpful links, if you were to click new associates, it'll take you to that first page we were looking at, which is the new agent tab. There's also a prayer request form. So if you guys are ever going through something, or you know someone who is, you're welcome to fill out that form. You can also email us if you would prefer that, but the form is there so that it can be a little bit more confidential if you'd like. But you can make it as broad scale as you'd like in terms of who you want us to ask for more prayer power from. But you can make it as easy as just hey, can you keep this within leadership? I'd love it if you guys would pray for us because you are a family. We do want to make sure that everyone's doing well, and we want to make sure that everyone's going to be okay. So please feel free to use that anytime that you would like. We also do have KW Cares, which is a national charity organization through KW. We also have one specific to KW Valentine as well, and that's used as reserve funds for any time that we do have agents who are really going through something, who need something. So please feel free to fill out that form. We do want to make sure everyone's okay. We want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to help you guys. So that's a really good one to touch on. The next one, refer an agent. We actually don't really use this form a whole lot anymore. The easiest way to tell us that, hey, I loved working with so-and-so, I really want them at Valentine, is just to shoot Abby or Teresa an email because they'll immediately get connected with that person and try to see if they'd be willing to come over and tour because we would love to see our family continue to grow, and I know that we would love to see other familiar faces in the hall, really great agents to work with. So if you guys met somebody that was amazing to work with on another transaction, you really want them to come to Valentine, you think they could benefit from the opportunities here, or oh my gosh, my sister just got her license and she's going through pre-licensing right now. She's about to take her exam. Let us know about those situations as well because we would be happy to get them excited about Valentine, like hopefully you guys are too. And then again, just a little bit further, colorism, Canopy MLS, how to schedule a conference room. The only other thing I will show you is under strategic vendor partners. If you click on that, instead of joining, if you were to not join the Facebook page, if you click on this, it will break down all of the vendor partners that we do have here by their profession. It gives you their point of contact, the company they work for, what their contact information is, the services they provide, and if they have a website, it's listed as well. So please do use this. It's a really great spot. You can check and see, okay, we don't have any locksmiths right now, so maybe I have to go out and try and find a couple or ask somebody who they've used. But also you can ask, okay, look, we've got HVAC, we've got several insurance agents. So please do use this anytime that you're looking to find a quick connection to a vendor if you aren't on the Facebook page. So you're welcome to reference that, but all of these individuals should be on the Facebook page as well. Close out of that real quick. The one thing I will say about that, though, is even on our normal internal page within just the office, if you were to drop a question in there saying, who has used a repairman out in Hickory that they loved? It's as simple as that. People will immediately start dropping like actual screenshots of contacts in their phone of people you can contact immediately. So it's as simple as that if you're really trying to look for a vendor. Just get out there and ask, and people are so willing to help you. The next couple things here, also really great resources, but I'll let you guys kind of navigate those on your own time. We do have the things like a CEO podcast, which is a little bit motivational. We do have book recommendations, Outfront Magazine. Outfront Magazine, I will touch on just briefly to say, they do build up a social calendar for you to make it even easier. So social media is kind of like more your speed, and that's how you want to do a lot of your marketing. If you click on Outfront Magazine, they will break it down at the start of every month. They'll give you the entire month's worth of ideas of what to post every day. So it does make it a little bit easier, a little less daunting, because I feel like sometimes making that transition from a personal page to a business page, it could be that difficult trying to come up with what do I say. So feel free to use Outfront Magazine. They do share suggestions. Like I'm sure today they're suggesting that you post something about Cinco de Mayo just because it is a holiday. So they do that for different holidays. They'll do obviously filler content as well for days that's a little slower. But feel free to use any of and all of these resources. I think that because usually when there's a few people and I talk fast, I can get through it a little faster and give you guys more of your day back. But is there any questions now that I've like completed word vomiting on you? It's okay if there's not. I know that sometimes one, either it was super short and sweet and to the point, you don't have any questions, or two, you just threw so much information at me, I don't even know where to start, which is also commonly the thing. So I just say in those moments, if that happens, that's okay. Just shoot me an email. Say, oh my gosh, I was going home and I was going through the website again, and I just can't remember how you got to here. Happy to share that with you. So feel free to reach out to me with any questions that might kind of arise over time. But the biggest takeaway, I think, is just in the next time that you've got downtime, just kind of play around on the website, see if you can't find the same things that we covered in class. If there are any things that stand out, let me know. But other than that, that's going to be the best way to familiarize yourself with it when you're away. So I think that's kind of the gist of everything. Thank you for letting me go so fast. I appreciate that. But if you guys, like I said, have any questions, I'm only one email or one phone call away, and I'm happy to answer them for you. So other than that, you can go do whatever you'd like to do. You're welcome, guys. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I know it's not always easy to do a 9:30 class, but I feel like Ignite makes it probably a little easier. This is probably like a late start. This is nice.